This is the unluckiest contestant I've seen. There's some food daily, but it's never enough to feel full. Check out the contestant next door. They have so much fish, they can't even describe it. Eating fish daily, they're nearly stuffed. If you joined this challenge and had fish daily, how long do you think you could last? It's day 16 now. Jesper loves the steam room and would stay there forever, especially when stressed. He recommends everyone try it out. It instantly relaxes you. Jesper feels he has no regrets about this challenge. Then he went to the lake to pray, hoping to wash away his bad luck. He felt much lighter afterward. He wonders about the other contestants but feels great himself. Sunny is in a good mood. He plans to explore the original spot. He has to admit the water here is really sweet and pure, untouched by pollution. Walking upstream, the scenery is indeed beautiful. His mood keeps getting better. If he could come here every day to take a look, his legs might give out. Sunny misses his family. Sitting there, he suddenly feels sad. He decides to return and set up the next net. With the water much colder now, it's better to avoid getting in to set it. He's very worried about freezing. Preparing the net took ages. He warms up quickly afterward. When he's bored, he even messes around at midnight. Sunny's in a great mental state. Is he setting a trap? I can't tell what he's doing. Suddenly, Sunny kicks out. Wow, he really was just playing around. Should we call the doctor to check on him? Lars is ready to chop down some trees. Today, he must fix the roof. The recent rain has been keeping him up at night. He believes that cutting down this tree will solve the problem. The noise will stop once the tree is down. Lars grabs the saw, mindful of where the tree will fall. It wouldn't be good if it hit the shelter or him. He cuts a notch first, then saws from the other side. He keeps it steady to avoid tilting. Soon, the tree falls much smoother than he expected. Lars is in a great mood. Let's see if the rain will still be noisy. Camilla is now extremely tired. The new shelter is worse than she imagined. Even with aluminum foil, the nights remain freezing. It feels like all our time and effort have been wasted. All I want is to lie down and rest, but the challenge continues. We gather loads of firewood daily. My body keeps weakening, but in wilderness survival, mindset is key. Staying positive is crucial. You can always get through tough times. I just miss my girlfriend and wonder how she's doing. I really want to hug her. The camera shifts to Chris. He wakes up and goes to the lake to get some water. As the weather gets colder, even his boots don't feel warm anymore. Upon closer look, he sees the sole of his boot is falling apart. No wonder it feels like he's barefoot. He must fix it. Every day brings new problems, and Chris feels overwhelmed. He can't let negativity take over. He must adapt swiftly. Lars is checking the fishing nets, which keep snagging on the rocks. He has to strip down and wade into the freezing water, wondering if the fish have moved to deeper areas. After much effort, he finally finishes. Doing this daily would drive him nuts. It's actually his birthday today. In past years, he would have everyone over to celebrate. Now, he's alone and feeling down, especially missing the big dinner feast. The more he dwells on it, the hungrier he becomes. He needs more food, but for now, he can only drink water and wish himself a happy birthday. Jesper wraps up his fun and returns to the survival challenge, needing to pass through a gate to officially begin. I must admit, the ceremony is quite impressive. Jesper's in high spirits, indifferent to winning or losing. Meanwhile, Camilla is struggling. She's contacted the production team multiple times, and her mood keeps deteriorating. Crafting is the only thing that suits her. It's day 17, and the weather keeps getting colder. The contestants are struggling to adapt. They have to layer up and keep the fire going, hoping it keeps them warm. At least the mosquitoes are gone. Before, the constant buzzing in your ears and mosquito bites all over were unbearable. Even using fire couldn't keep them away. A simple hand wave could kill a few, impacting mood and sleep. Who knows what winter will bring? Hopefully, it won't impact the fish here. The contestants are waiting for warmer weather before heading out. Camilla, for instance, wants to sleep in before starting her tasks. Naturally, some, like Kaz, push themselves to begin. The main task today is to enhance the shelter for winter by stacking the walls higher. This way, they won't have to worry about the cold wind. He picks flat stones and fills the gaps with moss. Surviving in the wild isn't for everyone. Even on my second try, it's still tough. Camilla is busy fixing the top of the shelter. I'm really worried she might fall. I was surprised by Camilla's agility as she jumped around effortlessly. After a lot of effort, she set up multiple shelters. This way, they can stay dry. Meanwhile, Lars is done with his shelter and feeling great. Sunny decides to set up for nets to test his luck. Soon, he feels a tug and quickly reels them in. He hauls in 4 sizable fish at once, lifting his spirits as he realizes he won't go hungry for days. Sunny feels his luck improving. With 4 fish from 1 set of nets, he thinks he could easily stay another month. Chris gets ready to check his other nets, wondering if the cold will impact his catch. To his dismay, he finds just 1 small fish. This can't go on. He's growing weaker by the day. Mushrooms are all he can find, but food is still scarce. Collecting all these mushrooms might only last 3 or 4 days. Plus, snails also eat the mushrooms. I'm worried the fire might ruin the mushrooms. My pants are getting loose as I lose weight, so I need to punch a new hole in my belt. If I keep losing weight like this, the show might make me leave. I need to find more food. Lars caught a tiny fish, barely enough for a bite. He has to return to work. He chops the wood into firewood, but with food becoming scarcer, he has no energy left. He really misses the delicious food at home. Thinking about those burgers and barbecues makes his stomach growl louder. He regrets joining this survival challenge. Isn't the bed at home warm enough, or the phone entertaining? Yet, he keeps working hard. This wood pile will likely only last for tonight. He spends a lot of time on this daily and needs to sun-dry it a bit. Earlier, after bathing, his underwear wouldn't dry. The sun isn't enough in this weather, so using fire is better. I hope to change into clean underwear soon. Camilla monitors her body daily, despite losing a lot of weight. Her digestive system is actually fine, even better than at home. It's truly unbelievable. Last time, her stomach was in bad shape during the challenge. She needed hospital treatment after the last challenge. She credits the editor for her renewed energy. She's so happy, she wants to tell the doctor immediately. Meanwhile, Jesper is pondering ways to perfect his flute. The tune he played at the steam house now sounds off. He hopes it will sound better once it's dried. He's sitting here meditating and thinking. Although it helps him relax, the cold wind on his face is really chilling. Sitting here isn't quite effective. He quickly gets ready and heads to the shore, feeling the ritual's importance. No wonder he's famous for his instrument. He trusts that his dedication will lead to nature providing him with food. Next, he must chop down a tree. Lars is crafting a windbreak for the fire pit to keep it from blowing out and prevent sparks from spreading. He has to add some moss. The finished product looks pretty good. He feels like a pirate captain. Being out here for so long, the contestants' mental states are a bit off, but Lars is having a lot of fun. Sunny feels his mood isn't great. No matter how much food he gets, he still feels weak. His body is getting weaker, and he can't figure out why. He just worries the cold might impact his challenge. Sunny aims to stay longer this time. Previously, he got so cold in the cave that he needed a hospital stay to recover. This time, he needs to stay warm and avoid getting too cold. He hopes things will improve. Jesper is about to burn the door. If you're confused, just ask. For him, the ritual ends here. Is he thinking of going home? He just waits quietly for it to burn. His mind is calmer than ever. Even the steam house has been dismantled. Finally, Jesper jumps over the fire pit, saying he's ready for a new challenge, as long as he's happy. Last time, most contestants quit around the 1-month mark. Only Chris lasted 44 days. So, everyone is determined to make it through this month. Jesper believes he has a solid shot. The contestants have limited food supplies, so they all try to make sure they eat something daily. Chris really misses having a fridge at home. Food is running low, and no matter how much you eat, hunger persists. Sunny, however, is tired of fish after years of eating it. Lars is stretching one fish over multiple meals, but it just leaves him hungrier. Camilla held a small celebration for herself. She hopes this will ease her hunger. Lately, she's only found berries to eat, and her situation is worsening. She misses home a little. Who knows what everyone thinks about being stuck here? Sunny used to sleep well. A sudden gust woke him, making it seem like the shelter might collapse. They just managed to reach day 18. Everyone woke up to worsening weather, which particularly impacted the fishing nets. They worried the waves might wash them ashore. Next, they needed to secure the waterproof tarps with heavy objects. Losing them to the wind would be disastrous. Lars had it the worst. His roof was already blown off. He had to rearrange everything, but didn't think it was a big problem. He figured propping it up with branches would solve the problem. On Sunny's side, the winds were so fierce it felt like he might be swept away. Unsure if the rocks would secure the tarp, he gathered as many as possible and tied them with ropes. He hoped this would hold. Lars did the same, constantly weighing down with rocks. Camilla found her tarp a bit troublesome. No matter how she positioned it, it didn't work. Using trees for support made tying and lifting easier. She gave it a try. It worked quite well. Chris went for a simpler, more forceful approach, directly tying the tarp with ropes. Even if the shelter flew away, it wouldn't come apart. He felt this would hold. Jesper wasn't worried at all. Instead, he relaxed, enjoying the view, wishing the typhoon would intensify and send the other contestants home. Such experiences are unique to wilderness survival. While he enjoys the adventure, he's even more eager to return home. The other contestants are struggling too, all eager to return home. Jesper gazes at a photo, deeply missing his wife. He didn't realize he had signaled the crew to come. Everyone speculated who would quit first. It turned out to be Jesper. In hindsight, it makes sense. He could relax in a steam room every day, but he tore it down and even burned the ceremonial door. Feeling unwell and missing his wife, he chose to withdraw and head home soon. He's unsure how many contestants remain, but wishes them all the best. He won't return for another challenge. In the future, he'll wait for his son to grow up and hopefully win. Jesper himself has plenty of survival experience. His ex-wife also had a great attitude, but her age and declining physical condition led to her deteriorating state. Ultimately, they decided to leave the challenge. With 4 contestants left, who do you think will win the prize? The remaining contestants stay busy to fend off loneliness. Despite the large waves. Despite the rough waves, he believes he can still catch fish. To his surprise, the net is full. It seems the bigger the waves, the more fish there are. The fish kept getting larger, so he won't go hungry this week. Can anyone identify this fish? For him, as long as it's edible, it's fine. He was so happy he started dancing, grateful for nature's gift. He hopes his luck continues. Camilla caught an eel. Though she often eats fish, this was her first time handling one herself. She used her experience to prepare and cook it. The cooked meat smelled great. In the wild, as long as the fish is edible, it will always smell delicious no matter how you cook it. Camilla thoroughly enjoyed the meat, while Chris, having not caught fish in ages, felt lost. Lars cleaned all the fish and planned to have a big meal tonight to reward himself. He was in a great mood. He wished he could share with the others. Meanwhile, Chris boiled some leaves to fill his stomach. They looked fine, but tasted a bit spicy. He longed for the days when he could catch fish. He hoped to catch some tomorrow, or his body might not hold up. On the 19th day of the challenge, Camilla felt very unwell last night, possibly because of the eel. Her mental state was quite poor. She regretted eating the eel, but not eating would mean losing too much weight. She felt the challenge was really tough and could only rest more in the shelter. Lars ate a lot of fish. He felt fantastic and believed he could last another month easily. He wondered if the others had food. He invited them to try some. Sunny attempted shore fishing, but his net was totally wrecked. Fixing it is a pain. The water is freezing every time he goes in. Using the rod against the wind is tougher than he thought. Sunny has tried repeatedly without luck. Lars's fishing net has come up empty too, which has lowered his spirits. He decides to hike up the mountain to search for mushrooms. After walking for a while, Lars suddenly feels unwell. He has to return to the shelter to rest. Despite eating so much fish, he still feels exhausted for some reason. The shelter looks a bit flimsy. It's uncertain if it will hold up in winter. Food might not be stockpiled much, but everyone can still try to make the shelter more comfortable. The most practical items are chairs and beds. Crafting them properly can boost morale. Chris aims to build a large bed. Not everyone knows this, but his biggest hobby is buying boats. He hopes to build one himself someday, so he really wants to win the prize money. First, he sets up the frame to ensure it can support the weight. Then he places sticks and branches on top. Next, he tries lying on it. The result is better than expected. Meanwhile, Camilla is making a chair. This is much simpler. She first makes 2 triangular frames, then crosses them together. Sitting on it feels pretty good. Sunny made some moss pillars and soaked a cloth in them. This makes it smell much better. Lars is lying down, taking in the view. He doesn't want to waste energy exploring, so he just rests his body. Chris's dinner is quite bland, and he's tired of it. Without more fish, his body won't hold up. It's the 20th day of the challenge. Lars still has some food left, but it smells a bit off. He tries to smoke it to cover the smell, but it doesn't work well. He almost smoked himself out. Chris starts collecting food again. There are only some berries and mushrooms nearby. He survives on these. His ability to endure hunger is quite impressive. Sunny's main task today is to fix the fire pit, trying to make the shelter warmer. He lights a fire inside, but the smoke lingers. It feels like it might ignite the waterproof cloth.